So I hesitated on whether or not I wanted to come on here and make this video for you guys here today, because I didn't want to come on here and just feel like I was complaining. And plus, a bunch of videos have already been made, news articles, websites have talked about this as well here too, and I feel like I'm late to the party. And we're going to be talking about the PS5 Pro here today. Now, instead of me going over all the specs, all the details and everything, I decided I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my personal, my opinion and whether or not I'm going to be picking up, my decision on whether or not I'm going to be picking up the PS5 Pro and the reasoning why I decided whether or not I was going to or I'm not going to. And with that being said, though, I was just like you guys. Yesterday morning, I watched the whole entire little direct they had, the video they had, whatever presentation they had, where they detailed everything with the PS5 Pro. Yes, it's going to be a much more powerful console, probably the most powerful console out there right now. It's going to have a better processor. You get, 2 terabytes of storage rather than just 1 terabyte. But all in all, though, it's going to run your games better. It's going to run them at 60 FPS and give you the best experience possible. Now, of course, that definitely does sound all good and everything, but as we got towards the end, we saw the design of the PlayStation 5. Now, it looks exactly like, you can't really see it over here, but it's right here. It looks exactly like what the PS5 looks like now, with just some extra venting. Looks like stripes or whatever, but extra venting on the sides of them. But it's a pretty slick looking console, regardless though. But it wasn't until the very end I saw the console itself. Now at that point, you couldn't tell whether or not it was a digital only console, or you couldn't tell if there was a disc drive. I just really couldn't, I couldn't figure out whether or not there was one or not. And it wasn't until after that, after the whole entire presentation, that we got more details on the PlayStation blog and of course on websites and Twitter and so forth, basically confirming that this is a discless console. And for me, that was enough right there. It wasn't just a $699 price. Yes, that's a lot of money for a console, but it was a fact that it was a digital only console. Me being a physical game collector, as you can see right here, I have a lot of games. I collect video games. I have a bunch of Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis games behind me as well too. Sega Dreamcast, etc. Over here on the other side, I collect physical games if I can. Now, I understand some games are digital. Of course you can't buy physical, but if I can get a physical version of a game, that's definitely the route I'm going to be going. I have a freaking VCR down here. Right there. And yes, I still have VHS tapes as well here too, and I do still watch every once in a while. But with that being said though, guys, I'm a physical game collector and I have to have that disc drive. I get it, not everybody is into the whole physical media. They don't care. It's all about digital media nowadays. That's fine. But if I can have physical, I'm going to get physical. But here's the thing, here's the kicker. You can add on an additional external disc drive for $80. Not only am I going to be spending $700 on a console so I can play digital games, but now I have to spend $80 to be able to play the physical games that I own on this console. So already you're looking at what? You're looking at $780 right there, and that's not including tax. Tax is about 7% here, so you're already well over, a little over anyways, over $800. And then another thing too, you don't get a stand with this. My PS5 right now, as you can see right now, it's standing upright. It has a little stand that came with it. Why is this not including a stand? You're gonna expect me to pay $20 now for a stand, and then of course $80 for the external disc drive. But that's not it, guys. They did let us know that we do get a copy. We do get a copy of Astro's Playground included with the console. So did the PS5. My PS5 came with a digital version of Astro's Playground as well too. You're not impressing me. You want to impress me, include a digital version. Include a digital version of Astrobot. That right there would kind of impress me a little bit more, because then of course you're going to be putting in a $60 game. You're going to up that value of the console a little bit more than what it already is, but you're not. You're just putting in another old game, a original PlayStation 5 game, being Astro's Playground. You're showing off new footage and such, right? You're showing off existing games that have been out on PS5 already, and you're showing those off and showing what the graphics can be like and what this console can do for it. That's great. but you're not really, you're not showing a brand new game that's coming out, right? You're not showing a first party game, a new IP that's coming out that's gonna run exclusively, it's gonna run exclusively better on the PS5 Pro. That's kind of what you need to do as well too. Again, I'm just not really turned on 100% by this whole entire PS5 Pro, and with the price the way it is, you're already looking at, by the time sales tax, by the time you add on the stand, by the time you add on the external disk drive, you're looking close to anywhere between $850 to $900 range for a freaking console, just so I can play my physical games on. And again, that's a personal preference, but the fact that this thing does not come with an external, or with an actual disk drive, not external, but the disk drive, is just absolutely crazy. But, however, though, you are getting Astro's Playground. Who gives a crap? It's a fun game, but again, include a game like Astrobot, or include a game that takes advantage of the PS5 Pro, that is new and that looks inviting, not something that's been around for quite some time here, that was available on your $499 console. It blows my mind that this is exactly where we're at in the gaming industry, and I'm just curious to see how many people out there actually buy this thing when it releases in November. It goes on pre-order here, September 26th, so not too far away, and of course, like I mentioned, it releases in November. So I'm curious to see how many of these. I'm sure they'll sell like crazy on all the big PlayStation fans and everything. They will definitely have this. I, for one, will not be getting this thing, especially at launch. It's just too much. It's just too rich. You're almost to a freaking PC, or at least almost halfway to a decent PC. Beginning at or it's at $850 and $900. So it's absolutely mind-boggling that they're selling this thing for so much to begin with. But again, the fact that there's no disk drive, there's no stand, it just that completely was enough for me to make sure I'm out of the game here, and I'll be waiting either for a price decrease at some point for the PS5 Pro, or here, I think they said by 2028 anyways, we could be seeing like a PS6, so we're halfway there already anyways, which sounds about right. So let me know down below what you guys think here. Are you going to be picking this up here at launch, or are you like me and it's going to go ahead and hold off for a while because of all the things that's missing that they expect you to add on? It feels like Apple at this point, right? It feels like a freaking iPhone or a Mac product where they have to add this on, add that on, but the fact that it's a $699 console already at base is just absolutely insane, guys. So make sure, again, you sound off down below. Make sure you guys like this video if you choose to. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure to turn on that bell notification to keep up to date with all things here on Chit Chat Gaming here on Chitty's World. And again, this is not me just coming out here complaining. I love my PlayStation. I've had a PlayStation since the very, very beginning, guys. So I'm not here to complain. I just find that this pricing is absolutely ridiculous, and I just can't believe that this is where the gaming industry is. I can't believe this is where I shudder to think what they're going to charge for the next Xbox, or even for the next Nintendo Switch. I hope it's nowhere along these lines. Of course, it won't be as much, but I hope they definitely price it at a reasonable price and make it fair to us consumers. So guys, we'll see you on the next one here, and as always, happy gaming.